You have chosen not to travel west to the Abbey of the Crimson Monks to consult their extensive library as advised by the old man in the tavern. Instead, you've decided to head east into the forest. Well, I hadn't prepared that part of the map yet, so let's just call it the forest, shall we? I guess we need to now consult a random monster table. Ooh. Well, what have we here? It looks like you have been ambushed by a group of 11 goblins. Roll for initiative. Never do that. Don't grudgingly remind your characters that they aren't doing what you prepped for them to do. Don't morosely gripe to them that you're having to wing it. Don't punish your players for making decisions. Welcome to Indeterminate Infinities, where we discuss multifarious aspects of the art of game mastering. My name is Gene. I'm a professional writer and information architect, and I've been DMing for 49 years. In the introductory scenario, I portrayed a game master complaining to his players that they are not doing what he expected them to do, grousing about having to wing it, and then rolling a random encounter that has nothing to do with the problem the players are trying to solve. Now, don't get me wrong, there is nothing inherently wrong with random tables. I use random tables all the time. Random tables are like any tool. They can be useful in the right context. My collections of source books with random tables list many things other than combat encounters. I have tables with random names for NPCs, or things you might find in a wizard's study, or things you might find in a medieval kitchen, things you might find in a dead person's pockets, that sort of thing. Maybe the last game ended with the players just headed to an inn where they wanted to talk to an NPC who worked in the kitchen of that inn. As I prep for the next game, I might decide that the villain behind the problem the players are working on will have the NPC killed before the players get there. So when the players arrive, they will find a newly murdered corpse. There need to be objects for the players to find at the scene of the crime. So I'll use those tables I talked about to help me furnish the scene. I may not actually roll dice. I may read through the table and pick things out during my prep time, right? If I'm presenting my players with a murder victim, I want the scene to feel genuine. Some things the players find in the room where the NPC was killed might be clues, and some might not. Having a list of objects to think about while I'm setting the scene gives both me and the players potentially useful things to discover. That's one good way to use random tables, to give you, the GM, flavor and details. During actual play, I sometimes use random tables that I create for a specific area of a map. So the only things on the tables are encounters I already know have something to do with the adventure the players are currently involved in. If you're going to use tables from a book or a module, don't just take whatever rolls up. Sometimes the monsters that you roll don't make any sense in the specific location where the players are. For an obvious example, it makes no sense at all for 3 to 6 ogres to be hiding in the pantry near where the dead body was found in the kitchen, unless your villain routinely employs random brute squads of ogres. I suppose, maybe. If you're directing a movie or writing a novel, every scene that happens on screen or on the page should advance the story or reveal something about the personality of one of your main characters or provide some new information to the reader. If the scene can do all three, even better. As a game master, you should think of every encounter as a scene in the story. Not a scene in your story, but a scene in the story which you and your players together are creating. This doesn't mean you spend hours and hours prepping for each session so that you have encounters for every possible direction your players might go. For one thing, that is impossible. No matter how many contingencies you plan, I guarantee you, your players will think of something you didn't. Instead, take a tip from a venerable observation about characterization. Every character thinks that they are the protagonist. Every character, no matter how minor they appear to be, is in fact the protagonist of their own life. and that includes that group of random goblins in the example I opened with. If you feel you must use a random encounter table and it gives you a group of 11 goblins, pause for just a moment to ask yourself, why are they here? What is their intent? The answers might be that they live nearby and this group of 11 is hunting for food. Or it might be that one of them is about to get married and this is the bachelor party. Goblins have relationships and families too, after all. If you think about why they are here and what they had set out to do, that's going to change how they behave. They may be just as surprised to run into the players as the players are to see them, right? Instead of just mindlessly attacking each other, maybe the party and the goblins will wind up negotiating. Heck, the players might be invited to the bachelor party. Depending on how the players react, that's going to reveal something about the personality of each character, isn't it? Maybe you don't want to have a humorous side quest where the players spend a night boozing with some goblins. Maybe the adventure your players are embroiled in is trying to save the kingdom from the conquest by an evil warlord. All right, so maybe the goblins work for the warlord, and they are tasked with raiding a nearby village. Honestly, I think that one is a bit boring and way too obvious. But what if the evil overlord's plan includes training an army in secret somewhere? And the warlord has cleared some land to set up his secret training camp. And to feed all of those secret troops, hunters have been sent out to kill as much game as possible. So maybe the goblins have been driven away from their homes, and they are having trouble feeding their families. Maybe the encounter mostly goes as a hack-and-slash monster fight is expected to go, except your players will notice that the goblins seemed easier to beat than expected. They notice that all of the dead goblins look scrawnier than usual, because they've been starving. A successful insight check could reveal that goblins have never been known to venture this close to the city. The players realize that something has disrupted the normal goblin ecology. Something is driving the goblins toward the city. Think about other creatures that might be displaced by your evil warlord's secret training camp, and then let the players find those clues. The most important thing is an encounter should never feel like a punishment. Don't complain about having to wing it. As a game master, winging it is part of your job. Furthermore, if the players do something you didn't expect, they shouldn't be punished for it. Be happy that your players are making decisions. Roll with it and see where it takes you. And that's where we'll leave it this time. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the like button and/or sharing the video. Click subscribe if you would like to be informed when other Indeterminate Infinity videos are uploaded. Until then, keep dreaming.